Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Legacy of Leaders. I'm Alex Kellison with Heritage Capital Group, and joining us today is Scott Pepis with CSX.
Thanks for having me.
Scott, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on your show.
Great. Well, you're welcome, and we appreciate you joining us. I thought we could start today with just telling us a little bit about what you're doing at CSX and how you got into it, and maybe we can move on there to the topic of mentorship.
Yeah, fantastic. So yes, I work at CSX. That's going to be in the rail transportation industry, and it's one of the major Class 1 rails, so we're pretty much the backbone of the North American economy. And my particular function is I'm manager of FP&A, so not only am I somebody who kind of helps orchestrate the stories across the budget areas and have that trickle up to the highest levels of the organization, but I'm also play a big role in forecasting fuel prices and inflation for the company. But one thing that I really love about my role is that I'm always doing something different, that I'm always challenged, and I'm also part of a really awesome culture with this new One CSX initiative rollout. So there's a lot of positive momentum, a lot of things to be thankful for in terms of how I got involved in the company. I'd say that you and I came out of a similar program at the University of North Florida, and I really wanted to get my charter, the CFA charter, and once I got that, doors just started opening for me, and this door was one of them. And my brother had worked at the company for 8 years now, but he loved it, and I knew it was an incredible opportunity, and the rest was history. And ever since then, I've just been blown away at how complex the rail industry is, and the number of verticals that CSX operates in and the markets we serve is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. So you work in FP&A, financial planning and analysis at CSX, and you said the CFA charter really opened the door for you into that opportunity. Would you say it's fair that exploring the opportunity of the charter came from UNF, or were sort of seated in what you did at UNF in your time there?
Absolutely. I think that effort and doing your best to make the most of opportunities and working smart, that all plays a role, but it would be pretty short-sighted to say like it was something that I all did myself. And I really am somebody who's a story of people who have just helped me along the way, and I think UNF has been a wonderful resource, so much more than just a place where I got a piece of paper after 4 years of study.
Right.
And yeah, so I had professors who were mentors to me and that I still keep in touch with to this day. You know them as well. And that's kind of how I eventually not only got real-world experience in finance, but I learned a bit more on what are the different routes that you can take and how do you set yourself up for that. So whereas the designation that I got was very good, it was just a reflection on something that started much sooner, this sort of path outlining, okay, where do I want to go? What's the best way to get there? So that was just a milestone on a broader journey. But yes, definitely UNF was a big part in kickstarting my career.
How do you think, transitioning from mentee to mentor has impacted your way you think about mentorship, and what sorts of practical things do you think you've been able to implement, seeing both sides of that coin?
I think when you're a mentor, it kind of opens your eyes to the fact that one, time moves really fast. Second, that there's part of you that says, am I ready to be a mentor? Because I still feel like I'm learning. Time's passed so fast. If there's a little bit of nostalgia that comes, but also a little bit of disbelief, because you've learned a lot, you certainly have a lot to share, but you're like, wait, I'm still learning. And so I think that's the part of a good mentor, is they understand that they're still learning as well, and they don't know everything. And I think when you kind of carry that and you still realize, even though you're a mentor, you're always going to be a mentee, you're always still learning, whether it's from the mentors you still have or just exploring different areas to see and challenge yourself. But I think that carrying that through when somebody's maybe an intern at the company and they're trying to learn more about what we do, or I go back to UNF and I speak to students, I think I can relate to them a bit more because I'm still pretty close to where they were. It feels like just the other day that I was in the same spot as them. But also I think when you kind of approach it with humility, you can relate to them a little bit more, and in many ways I still learn from them.
Great. Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent mentality to have, is just, constant growth, realizing you're always learning. And then two, you mentioned humility, which I think is a great trait to have for a mentor. So to wrap it up today, what we talked about, Scott and I, is just how we broke into our professional roles, the roles that mentorship and menteeship have played in our lives and our time and our development as people and professionals. So Scott, thank you so much for joining us today on Legacy of Leaders.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about what Scott does in CSX, visit iwannabuzz.com. Thanks everyone, and take care.